Lesson 2-3, solving two-step equations. Our essential question is, how do you solve a two-step equation? This first slide is just explaining something that we use to help you try to think about the order to do your steps. We call it the married couple and third wheel method. You need to identify the married couple. The married couple part of the equation would be the variable and the number that is closest to it. So sometimes it's the coefficient, or it's a fraction with a letter in the numerator and a number in the denominator, because that could also be written as a coefficient that's a fraction. So the piece that's got the variable and the number closest to it, that's your married couple or your happy couple. And then the third wheel is the other thing that's on the same side of the equation with your variable. The other thing that's further away, that's kind of an outsider, that's what we need to get rid of first. And after we do that, we will have a one-step equation left to solve, and you already know how to solve those. Okay, so type number one. And it says on the bottom, our goal is to isolate the variable. That's always our goal when we solve an equation. An equation is a balanced scale. And on one side of the scale, we want to have only the variable left, and on the other side, we'll have the value that the variable is equal to. Because a balanced scale works that way. It works that way. What's on one thing is equal to what's on the other. So our first equation, I'm going to copy down, and I'm going to go with my train track method. I prefer to just draw one track. You can draw two if you want. The idea with that train track through the equal sign is that it shows me clearly the two sides of my equation that I'm working with. Okay, the married couple on this first one. The married couple is going to be our 3x. That's our married couple. Because the 3 is attached to the x. They are partners. Now, that means that I'm going to have to get rid of the minus 5 first. That is my outsider, my third wheel. To get rid of subtracting 5, I add 5. Just like on the one-step equations, the opposite of subtracting 5 is adding 5. Negative 5 plus 5 or minus 5 plus 5 is 0. They cancel each other out. Now I can bring down my married couple, my 3x, and on the right-hand side, it's not 7 anymore. 7 plus 5 is 12. Now it's a one-step equation. 3 times x, when the variable and the coefficient are being multiplied together, you need to divide. Dividing is the inverse of multiplying. So I divide both sides by 3, and I get my answer, x equals 4. You could plug it in if you wanted to. Remember, this isn't required. But if I plug in a 4 for x, I would have 3x, or 3 times x. Now it's 3 times 4, minus 5 equals 7. Following the order of operations, 3 times 4 is 12, minus 5 equals 7, 7 equals 7. That's true, so it checks. So that's the process that we're going to use for our two-step equations. Now I'm just going to group this and shrink it so that I can do the second example. The second example, very similar to the first. I'm going to show you, though, a different way that you could show your work, because some of you do not like showing it up and down with train tracks. So if I subtracted 9 on both sides, then I would have negative 2x equals 13 minus 9 is 4. And then I could divide by my negative 2 and get x equals negative 2. So the married couple on this problem was the negative 2x. Again, the letter attached to the coefficient negative 2, closest together. On the same side was the plus 9, so I had to get rid of that first because that's the outsider, the third wheel. And I just used my inverse operations. The third example, 15 equals 4x plus 3. This is just to show you that your variable can be on either side to start. I'm gonna go back to my favorite method with my train tracks. My married couple is on the right-hand side this time. It's the 4x. The married couple has to have the variable in it. It can't be the 15, it can't be the 3. It has to have your variable. Now, on the same side with the 4x is the plus 3. So that is the term that I need to get rid of first. 15 minus 3 is 12. 12 equals 4x. Now I need to isolate my variable by dividing. Divide by 4. And my solution is 3 equals x. 3 equals x. Remember that the check step is not required, but it's highly recommended on quizzes and tests, if you have extra time, that you take that time to go back, plug your answer in that you solved for, and make sure that it works, because you can catch your mistakes. So if you really want to have a perfect score, I recommend checking. Okay, our next problem says find 3 consecutive integers with a sum of 57. We're fine with you guessing and checking on problems like this. So typically what we do is we let students use a calculator and we ask them to really think about what the numbers could be. Think about what the numbers could be, plug them in and try it, and then we ask students if they found out a shortcut. So consecutive means right in a row, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's what consecutive means. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 2, 3, 4, 3 consecutive integers. Now a sum of 57 means that they have to add up to 57. So we are looking for 3 numbers in a row that add up to 57. So hopefully you can kind of figure out how to get in the ballpark here. Smaller numbers like the ones that I wrote up top are clearly not going to equal 57. So let's say that you thought 57 was kind of close to 60. It's kind of close to 60. And 60 is like 20 times 3. So that should get us in the ballpark. Something around 20. 57 is a little lower than 20 though. So maybe we would want to go with like 17, 18, 19. So 17, 18, 19, if you add those together, so 9 plus 8 is 17, plus 7 is 24, carry the 2, 3, 4. So I'm very close. I'm only off by 3, which means each of my numbers needs to be one higher. So instead of 17, 18, 19, I need 18, 19, 20. So those 3 numbers are consecutive. They're integers. These integers are positive or negative numbers like you see on a number line. So that's the solution. The next one, they have to add up to 117, and they have to be consecutive odd integers. So that means they're all odd numbers, like 1, 3, 5. Those are consecutive odd numbers. Not big enough to get us to 117. So 117 is kind of like 120, and I know if I take 120 and divide it by 3, I would get to 40. So I'm going to use 40 as my ballpark. So I'm going to go with, let's say, if I go with close to 40, I'm going to go with 39, 37, 35. Now 5 plus 7 is 12, plus 9 is 21, 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. Okay, I'm off by 6, which tells me that each of my numbers has to be 2 higher. So, again, I was pretty close. So I'm going to go with 37, 39, 41, and this should work. 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 1 is 7. All right, so 10, 17, carry the 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, perfect, I've got it. So 37, 39, 41. The last one, it has 3 consecutive integers with a sum of negative 159. Negative numbers, well, that just means to me, if they're going to add up to be a negative 159, that they're all negatives. They're all going to be negatives here. Because if they're consecutive in a row, you're not going to be able to have a positive and a couple negatives, or one negative and a couple positives, because they have to be consecutive. So, 159. So I'm going to say maybe negative 50, because that would get me to 150. So that's going to be kind of close. So let's go with negative 52, negative 53, negative 54. If I add those up, 4 plus 3 plus 2 is 9. 5, 10, 15. Got it. So because there are three numbers, I'm always looking at dividing this number by 3, or asking myself what number times 3 would be close to that number. So that will get you in the ballpark range. All right, our next problem. Solve this problem. If 5 minus 3x equals 14, then what is 2x plus 11? This is applying the solution to our initial equation. So we need to solve our initial equation first using our married couple third wheel idea, and then we're going to take the solution, whatever x is equal to, and plug it in to evaluate what 2x plus 11 is equal to. Now this married couple third wheel problem is set up a little differently. My married couple is right here. My married couple is negative 3x. Remember that the sign in front of the 3 goes with it. Now, to eliminate this 5, it's a positive 5. It's a positive 5. So if I added 5 to it, I would get 10. That would not help me in my solution. I need to subtract the 5. This is very tricky. 5 minus 5 is 0, which would cancel it out. I bring down my married couple, and 14 minus 5 is 9. Now I've got a 1 step left. I have to divide by not just 3, but negative 3, because I need to cancel out the negative sign as well as the 3. Dividing that gives me x equals negative 3 for my solution. Now it's very important to recognize that I have not answered the question. I'm not done. It says, what is 2x plus 11? It did not say find x or solve for x. We had to solve for x so that we could use that solution, negative 3 is x, plug it in, and now evaluate using the order of operations. So 2x plus 11 is equal to 5. Now we're on type 2. Type 2. Our married couple is a fraction on type 2. Our married couple is a fraction. Still, the married couple, the number and letter are closest to each other. Third wheel, or the outsiders on the same side. So I'm going to have to add 1 to get rid of the minus 1 that was on the same side with my variable. Now, my one-step equation is a fraction. To get rid of the 4 when it's a fraction with the 4 on the denominator, it means it's being divided, so we have to multiply. So if we multiply, we get x equals 48 for our solution. I'm going to skip the second one and go down to the third one for you. Married couple, x divided by negative 2. So I need to eliminate the plus 5. I subtract 5, and then I get x divided by negative 2 equals 7. And I multiply by the negative 2 on both sides to get x equals negative 14 for my solution. Type 3, our last type for today, is when you've got a big fraction. When you've got a big fraction with your married couple is simply the numerator part, So you will have to multiply to eliminate the denominator first, which leaves you the numerator, x minus 5, your married couple. Now it equals 6. Then I can add 5, which gives me x equals 11 for my solution. One more of these. Married couple is the entire numerator. Think about if you were reading this fraction, you would say x plus 9 divided by negative 5. So what you say first, that piece that's together is your married couple. So if I multiply on this one by negative 5, I will get a positive 35 equals x plus 9. Then I subtract that 9 to cancel it out. And 35 minus 9 is 26 for my solution. Remember, you can always plug it in to check it. You're ready to write your summary now? Summarizing how you solve a two-step equation. And here's your homework assignment.